Boom, here we are. I have microphone volume. Going to try a little different format today, feeling this out. I'm going to start off with my time slips for the week, high level overview, then a high level overview of my AI stuff today. And then I'll get into acknowledgments. There's a couple super chats today, and there's some gift memberships, and there was a gift membership made last week that I neglected to mention, so I'm going to hit that. I'm going to go straight off to time slips from last week, and I don't have this pre-set up. I think part of my experiment was to see if I can pull this off without much advanced setup. So I am going to that now. Let's see, did I get confirmation? I see confirmation of my voice. I'll check over here on Baby Beast. Yeah, we got that. And then I'll do a exclamation mark Y over there and watch my audio indicator and see if it verifies. Yeah, I did not see that. Looks like SpeakerBot audio is off. Let's try that. See if that works. And I also neglected in the membership gifts that I acknowledged last week, I didn't do the points. Why am I? Oh, because I wasn't listening to it. Okay, so I got to bring it up over here. I said I'm going to get right into time slips. I think I can manage that on a regular basis if I get this right. My systems. I made development progress on my new systems yesterday, and I'm still not seeing SpeakerBot audio. Why is that? Let's see if chat is acknowledging it or not. I don't see chat acknowledging it. My microphone's bouncing into the yellow. Trying again. Nada. Okay. What's going on? Looking at the action history for StreamerBot. Oh, it says partially connected. So there's some issue going on there. And I should be able to find that pretty quickly. Can I show you while I'm doing this? Oh, that one's not on. Oh, you know what happened? I did an update to OBS and Stream Deck and StreamerBot. And there was an on-screen message. Be sure to test everything. Make sure it's working. Oh, geez. Yeah, and all the menu systems are different in this version of StreamerBot I'm seeing. Good golly, Miss Molly. So where do they stick the account now? Ah, boy. Doug. Only in a Doug world. Platforms, YouTube, broadcast, YouTube. Sign in with Google, it says, on StreamerBot. So StreamerBot's not signed in. So I click sign in with Google and boom, connected. Now, let me try again. See if that is all it took.
Yes, sir, Bob.
Yes. And it actually came through to you. All right. Okay. Thank you, Ken. Now, get back to I was trying to get straight into time slips. I tried to go there last week and did not make it. So I go to weekly timesheet. And I'm going to try, I think what I'm going to do is give a high level overview. I'm not going to try to display the screen for you because I haven't sanitized it for client names and such. So for March 29th through April 4th, and this is the first time I've looked at it, I had 15 hours, 28 minutes, so 15 and a half hours. Lately, I've been getting around 20 hours, so that was a little bit of a light week. The first time slip was on Monday for 39 minutes, and that had to do with a printing problem. Let's see. Yeah, she was in the midst of printing a long list of invoices and wanted to salvage that. We were unable to salvage it, but we were able to just cancel it and restart and get her started back at the right invoice so that she didn't have to do them all over again. And then there's that was a bookkeeper, and then there's a print shop owner. He had a problem with his internet connection, so I went out on site and it was just restarting his router. But this is one of the people who was difficult to talk him through it. I told him a few times I need you to disconnect the Ethernet cable and reconnect it on the router side and the computer side. And he goes, futzes for 2, 3, 4 minutes, comes back and says, all right, I pushed it in. It didn't go in any further. Well, that's not what I asked you to do. But anyway, it wasn't the Ethernet cable. We actually had to restart the router. And then that was on Monday. We took an hour and 12 minutes on that because there were some other things that he also needed to do. He needed help with how to email a JPEG file to a client of his. He's been using computer for 20, 30 years in his print business, but he sold the business. He moved his operation to home. He's still doing a little bit of work there, not a lot. He's not even on his computer every day, and he's saying he forgets stuff. So this is one of those environments where you have to learn to be patient and not show any impatience at all. And then there's a financial services company on Monday for 26 minutes. The client was asking about Wi-Fi extender options. He has unified devices, so he specifically wanted to get another unified device for an extender for the garage at his second home over on the coast. Then there's a towing company on Monday also, an hour and 19 minutes I was setting up their new computer for their bookkeeper. It's over there somewhere. It's not done yet. So that was unboxing and initial Windows configuration and updates for new computer. So I actually start my clock when I turn my attention to that. It's completed the unboxing. When you're placing orders for equipment, when you're unboxing, that's all work. That's all billable work. And I don't think a lot of technicians actually, keep track of the time that they spend and get paid for it. You deserve to get paid for your work. So then next on Tuesday, 55 minutes for a remote bookkeeper for the towing company. So did some work with her regarding we've changing the way they're doing invoicing. They've moved from QuickBooks Desktop to QuickBooks Online, and it involves making a custom invoice for one of their high volume customers who needs a very special invoice that QuickBooks Online could not handle. So I think there's a few time slips during the week on that one. Then let's move on. Chiropractor, 1 hour, 12 minutes. Phone and remote support for downloading a PDF file for medical records for a patient. This is one of those secure download sites, and he was having trouble with how to do it. It's a fairly basic thing from a computer technician's point of view, but again, people who are highly educated professionals, know their field, don't necessarily get along with computers so much. And a lot of us in the computer world, I'm not saying computer business necessarily, but a lot of you that are just hobbyists don't understand why they don't understand these basics. How many times I go back to, I ask them to click on the Windows button and I have to explain, well, that's the little icon down on the bottom of your screen to the left of the other buttons. So 4 squares, blue. It might be perfect square shape with 4 perfect squares, or it might be kind of angled if they're on Windows 10. How's that go this way? Yeah, kind of trapezoid, I think is the word. I don't know. Then back on oh, Jim, don't listen to this part. Support for Yahoo email sluggishness, and fix that by resetting the ad blocker. Somehow the ad blocker was still active, but it was on a moderate setting, and apparently Yahoo broke through that because there were ads showing up, and it just really slowed her computer down. So I turned it to more aggressive ad blocking, and that fixed it. 9 minutes. Yes, I charged for the small amount of minutes. That was preventing, that was causing severe problem for her work. So to show a charge for 9 minutes where I fixed something very quickly and got her back to productive mode, that's something you gotta show. I see that I have frames missed due to rendering lag, and I don't have dropped frames. Is there a complaint in chat about buffering? I don't see it. Okay, moving on. My intent here is to try to get quickly through some, and if you want, then have more questions about these, you can ask about that in chat. Then let's see, here we go. That one. Okay, so more time, another hour, 58 minutes on that special invoice through QuickBooks Online, and that was using Visual Basic macros, to where instead of teaching her to do this step and then this step and then this step to get the data from QuickBooks Online to Excel and then print the invoice, what she does is export the information from QuickBooks Online, open this worksheet, and then there's a button on the main body of the worksheet, not up on the button bar, just right on the main body of the worksheet that says generate invoice. She clicks that. The macro imports the data and puts it into the printable invoice in tab, and then all she's got to do is look at it and print it. Done. I apologize to her for making it so easy, because I had told her that I was going to have to train her. I didn't have the macro method in my plans at the time when it got more complicated. Then moving on, a law office. A lawyer having trouble with a remote connection to his office, and I found that my remote connection was working, but his remote PC connection was not working. So I connected to the account, and I saw that 3 of the computers that they connect to remotely were not available. So I fixed his just by manually restarting the remote PC, and then I wanted to test, was it going to survive a restart? So I restarted his computer, and it came up fine. So I went and fixed the other 2 computers as well. It looked like a Windows update triggered that, because he said that he had just run a Windows update and then had this problem. Doesn't necessarily mean, that's not necessarily a cause and effect, but all 3 of those computers had the similar behavior at the same time. Suspicious. Then let's see, back on the towing company, another 37 minutes on that custom invoice. Then back for a client's personal account. I have a business billing for him, and I have a personal billing for him. The personal billing is for he and his wife, their home computer. And this was, the wife has a Google Mail account. She was getting a message that the local mailbox is full. Excuse me. And she was it was going to have an impact on her emails. So she was asking, do I need to be concerned about it? So I checked into it, and no, what it was is that the local store for her mailbox, which is accessed through Outlook, and the GWSMO, whatever that weird name is, how Google accounts will synchronize with Outlook. There's an amount of storage space on the local computer for the emails that was full. So the emails will still come in. It's just that Outlook is going to rotate off the old emails. If she needs to see the old emails, she can go online to see them there. So I just told her what was up there, and that was a 5-minute charge. That resolved as point of stress for her. Oh no, what do I do? Do I need to do anything? No, you don't. And then let's see, here's one of the government assisted living facilities. I configured a Microsoft 365 account for a new user, a new employee. Then that was hour 54. It was not just the email account, but reconfigured the computer for her remotely. Now, this is one of those times where we use job function Windows user accounts. So she doesn't log into Windows with her own name. She logs into Windows with the job function she's performing. So that means when they switch different employees, I create the Microsoft 365 account for them, and we just sign out of the Microsoft Office products for the old user, sign in under the new user, and they're able to inherit all the work in progress from the old user. Okay, back to the towing company. We're dealing with Wednesday right now. This is 47 minutes. Let's see. Upload provide orientation. Oh, this was the custom invoice. I uploaded it to her computer and provided her an orientation to how to use it. Ironically, later in the afternoon, she called back that she'd forgotten the very basics of how to use it. The reason for that is that while I was giving her this first orientation to it, she was a little bit distracted because she had an appointment that she had a short deadline for, and I don't think she was paying close attention. So we had to do a rerun on that. Then let's see. Oh, this is interesting here. I got a time slip for 1 minute. That typically means that I failed to finish the time slip, failed to put in an ending time. This was, lab work for the bookkeeping computer. The reason for that is because I put in a time when I turned my attention to that, but there was going to be several long processes to do, and it was going to run through it was going to pretty much take the whole day. So typically what I'll do is when I'm done with it at the end of the day, I'll put in an ending time. So in this case, it was going to be 2:52 p.m. to maybe, 8:30 p.m. And then put in an amount of break time that basically I fudge, estimate, guess, and wind up charging them at maybe anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how many of those processes that I did. Then back to one of the government-assisted living facilities for an hour, 16 minutes on Wednesday. This was an employee making a lateral move, moving from one company that's owned by the parent company to one of the sister companies. So that involved creating the new account on the company she's going to and making adjustments to the account that she's leaving. And in this case, the company she's going to, she wants to be able to still interact with her old email account at the new desk at the new company that she's at. I'm not going into all the detail on that, just trying to give you a high level overview. And this has to do with what I've been telling you about, my intention to try to make this channel content that is useful for income generating Windows support technicians, providing support to small businesses. That was a really clunky way of saying it. And if there was a channel available to me earlier in my career, even today, where somebody was doing this, I would consider this to be gold, because it causes you as a technician providing support to actual clients that you're actually billing for. It helps, I think, with the thought processes of what you're doing, how to go about it, give you a little confidence to, yeah, go ahead and charge for that time. If you're doing the job right, they never complain. Never, never, never. Never, never, except for that one that I fired. The client that I fired, they did. Sort of, did he complain? No, he didn't really complain about the rates or the charges. He was just a jerk. How do you really feel, Doug? Okay, so then back to one of the attorney's private computers. Oh, Facebook. Oh my gosh. I told you I will get involved in things that I'm not an expert on, and I'll tell my clients about. I went through an experience with a client. I've told you about it before. She wanted a highly secure, highly private Facebook account. We've done it twice. 2 different accounts. Both times Facebook blocked it, nixed it. Said, nope, you're blocked. Now this time they said, you're blocked for life. Never again. We're not going to let you. My conversations with AI about it, both the AI and myself wound up concluding, and also by virtue of the stuff going on in Europe regarding Facebook, Facebook does not want people who will not share their contacts and their friends list and yada, 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 because that's how they make their money. And not letting it track yourself, tightening up all these security and privacy things on a new account in particular. Just myself and the AI Gemini are of the opinion that Facebook says, no, yeah, we're blocked. You're blocked. And they don't give any, these violating our terms of service. Where, please? How? So anyway, I wind up failing. I will be charging them for it. They will pay without complaint. I know the client. It is not a problem, and they know I'm as frustrated about it as they are. And she's given up on it. And she said for a few days it was working. And when I told her, look, this is not going to work. You gotta give up on it. Tell your friends that you tried twice. And Facebook will not let you put in the privacy settings that you want to keep it, make the account the way that you want. And there's nothing we can do about it. And she said, okay, yeah, I'm good with that. And you know what? I'm kind of okay with this because I found myself checking on it too often anyway, and every single time regretting spending the time on it. She's not happy. She's not unhappy about not being allowed to have a Facebook account. Then next, another government-assisted housing facility, 28 minutes, still on Wednesday. Completed configurations for a new local user account on the computer that she was moving to. And then a property management business. Zero time. Hey, I'm not charging him for this. This was 7:49 a.m. to 8:49 a.m. So 1 hour. He called me because he was having a symptom on his computer. After a Windows update, his computer restarted, and then he had these messages, these windows popping, multiple windows popping up. DougBetts remote, trying to connect to technician. Log Me and Rescue has been bad. Fail in a major way. The person will restart their computer and opens up all these windows, and the computer just comes to a screeching halt crawl because the CPU is overwhelmed
Read
with
chat,
all
please.
these windows. Taking a look at the read chat. Remote desk seems to have an issue with booting into safe mode. Computer remains in safe mode. Oopsie, this is just a heads up. Their tech department looking at it. remote desk. So that's different than the remote PC that I'm using. I don't have any installations of remote desk. And thank you, Greg M. So anyway, I know how to fix it. I have to talk the user through fixing it. I cannot connect remotely to it because the CPU is overwhelmed. So we have, if you want to know more, I won't go into the details of how we do it, but it's a little difficult to talk this user through it because he's not very comfortable with those techniques, and the computer was very sluggish. And then it also spent the amount of time that I took on it is because I asked him, look, can I experiment with something? I'm not going to charge you for any of this time, but I want to do a little experiment with you. And what I did is once I got remotely connected, I did not do all of the cleanup that I have done on the other computers because I don't think the rest of the cleanup that was prescribed by Gemini is necessary. Then next one, back to one of the, let's see, this is the parent of those three government-assisted facilities. David Graham says, sound like he needs a upgrade. I don't know which one you're referring to. Upgrade for the one that was having the trouble with the, let's see, that was Greg M saying, oops, he meant remote PC. He was trialing it. Oh, it was remote PC he was mentioning. Okay. So he meant remote PC have an issue with booting into safe mode. I haven't even I wouldn't come across an occasion to do that because my clients use remote PC to connect to their computers. If their computer has a problem, I'm going to be connecting to them with LogMe and Rescue and do the safe mode from there. So I'm likely not going to stumble across that. But again, thanks for the information. That might be useful to somebody else. Oh, David Graham, overwhelmed CPU. No, that won't fix it because I have had people with high-end custom build computers experience the same thing. The reason for that is the DougBetts remote app keeps opening more and more windows. Eventually, it's going to fill up the CPU. Also, you don't need an upgrade simply because your computer came to its knees when something went wrong. When the computer's working right, there's nothing wrong. CPU's not overwhelmed. So for a CPU to be overwhelmed when software is misbehaving, that's not a reason for an upgrade. All right, then moving on. So the parent level company, she needed a change to the board of directors distribution list. This is managed in Microsoft 365 admin console. It's a business account. So it's in their Microsoft 365 admin portal for the, what do they call it? They got this weird word. Somebody's going to know it. The Microsoft 365 business account. It's the, what is that word? I don't remember that word. Not agent. It's their environment. Come on, somebody. Who knows the word? Who knows the word? I don't see it over there in chat. So anyway, there's a special place to go make that change. The end users can't make the change themselves. But not portal. Oh, I almost have it. Okay, moving on. Then,
read chat, please.
You got it? Not ecosystem. Nope, it's a specific Microsoft 365. What is the word? Oh,
read chat, please.
Gonna drive me nuts. John Downey says, I'm wondering if an MSP like yours, I'm not an MSP, needs to provide SIEM, security info. Oh, John Downey, you put in the actual wording of that acronym. Oh man, that's boom. You're getting points. Sorry to do this to you. but you're getting points. Let's see. I gotta do that on Big Beast, I think. I don't not think I can do that over there on Baby Beast. So let's do I haven't even finished reading his comment yet. Let's see, I gotta do @symbol. Have you noticed that I haven't even shown chat yet on screen? And then I gotta give him, this is how much I like this, guys. You know that I was gonna have trouble with you just throw out an acronym out there. So here's a boatload of points for you. Now, what is he actually saying? I wonder if an MSP like yours needs to provide SIEM, security information event management, and intrusion detection services, along with monitoring. Large organizations do this internally. No, we don't. Because we don't have that much trouble to warrant ongoing management. However, I am prepping myself for the day when that will likely come. I do think it will likely come, but I'm not at that point now. And as I said, I don't operate under the MSP model where you charge a certain amount of money per month per computer. I do have some of the MSP functionality in the sense that I take proactive action for most of my clients, without running it by them. Something that I know needs to be done, I just do it and I bill them for it. It's not a problem because of the relationship that I have curated with them over time. There you go. I see the confirmation that John Downey got his boatload of points, because if you start asking a question and you're going to throw out one of these acronyms, you know I struggle with them, and it might be commonplace for you and it's not for me, and you just proactively, like an MSP, gave me what the acronym is. Well done. Let's see. Did I miss? I don't think I missed a read chat. Okay, so I'm gonna see. I've got chat over here, but I've been looking at my time slips over here. So I think the last thing I did was that distribution list. Then, so back to the property management, another time with him, 14 minutes. This was on Thursday now. And he needed to upload a PDF file to the Board of Realtors. This is how these days real estate transactions, they pass documents between the people who need to sign them. It gets uploaded to the Board of Realtors and distributed to the parties who need to sign it. And there's another signature website involved. But now I'm saying this a little bit out of line, because the Board of Realtors creates the documents. They had this 17-page document. Well, in its very slim presentation, it is larger size than what the signature website allows for uploads. So we had to compress it. Well, if you just try to zip it with Windows File Explorer, it doesn't zip very much. PDF files already pretty tight as far as Windows zip capabilities go. So he called the company involved, the website that accepts the uploads, and says, you must get a lot of this question. What is it? They had no official answer. They had no solution for it. But off the record, the technician tells him, you could try such and such website. See, I think I have the name of it here. And so we did that, but it is not an official recommendation from their company, because they don't want the liability about that, because it involves uploading the document to that web service. And I don't see the name of that there. Or maybe we did that in a later. Yeah, we did another. ilovepdf.com. Yeah, our first 14 minutes was us trying to find a way to do it. We couldn't. So then we concluded he would call the website service. And then he got back to me later. We did another 19 minutes to actually upload it to that website and produce the compressed document. Now, the limit was 25 megabytes. The document size was about 38 megabytes, so way over the limit. I Love PDF brought it down to something like 12 megabytes. Huge improvement. It stripped out the color for the Board of Realtors logo. And my client said, that's fine. We don't care about that. And whatever else it did, I don't know, but it worked. And it was free. I'm sure they have paid versions based upon, maybe it's how much you use it. So then that's the 2 time slips for him that day. And then back to the towing company, what we got here? Back to some more time on the setup of the computer. And I see also that's a 1 minute charge because I put in a starting time and I didn't put in an end time. I made some notes through the day about what I did during that process. So I will need to fill out the rest of those time slips and put in the approximation of how much time I spent on it. Then the last time slip for the week, which was yesterday, 34 minutes with one of the government-supported living facilities. This was configuration, finishing up the configuration on one of the computers where the end user was making a lateral move from one computer to another. I couldn't do the configuration on her computer because it was a laptop computer and the previous employee had it configured to go to sleep after 15 minutes of non-use, even when it's plugged in. So when she finally got to her desk, she wasn't spending much time at her desk at that point because she was still cross-training her replacement at the sister company. So she got there, and now it's close to the end of her work day. She was going to be off at, let's see, what was the ending time? She was going to be off at 2 p.m. yesterday. So it was getting close to that ending time. So when she told me that, I jumped right away to what she needed to know, which had to do with how to select which email signature how she could select from an email signature, even if the email came from her original email address at the other company or from the email address at this company, or if the email had been forwarded from the previous employee who had retired. And now that person's email account is a shared email box in the Microsoft 365 tenant. That's the word I couldn't think of earlier. It's tenant. Well, there's renters in these facilities, right? Maybe I can use that as a way to think of the word tenant. Of course, any client that has a Microsoft 365 for business has this Microsoft 365 tenant, T-E-N-A-N-T. Give me a 1 in chat if you already knew that word and what it meant in relation to Microsoft 365. Just type a 1 in chat. I'll glance over in a little bit and see if anybody else knew that word, even if you couldn't think of it when I was asking for it. Are you aware of the word tenant and what that means in Microsoft 365 for business? Yes, I see Tony and Ran Israel so far. All right. That's all the time slips for this week. Okay, then. The other thing that I thought I would start trying to do, experiment, see how it goes this week, is I thought that I wanted to give you a high-level overview of my AI chats. And I haven't screened this. Some of this is personal use. So if I come across something here that makes my face turn red, oh well, that's live video for you. So here what I'm going to do, the way I do this in Gemini, is I just bring up the search window and it shows all these things. So there's this many from yesterday. Sharing notebook, sharing notebook LM notebooks with Gemini, YouTube audience strategy debate, Orphan Black, Rachel's Rage, and bioreactors. I'm hooked on that show at the moment. Only one episode allowed per day. Mini PC price increase explained. Oh yeah, I had to order a mini PC for a client. It used to be $200 for this level B-Link computers. Now it's $340 within October 2025. We paid $200. Same exact configuration. I asked the AI in this chat, I gave it pictures of the two configurations. I said, is this the same computer? Am I missing something? Yes, it's the same computer. $340. And it had just made a substantial jump. OBS and StreamDuck update troubleshooting, because I was having trouble with the updates and we got through it, we got it fixed. iPhone text notification settings explained. Coffee price structure evaluation. I'm buying coffee every morning at AMP and Mini Market.
Read chat, please.
Weird pricing structure they had. Selden Ball says memory and SSD prices got you. Yeah, I was asking the AI if it was memory and SSD, and it said, well, that's part of it, but there's a little bit, probably also something going on with availability of components, which basically amounts to pricing. And I asked, do you think tariffs had much to do with it? It didn't think so. Anyway, and then other supply and demand. The AI suspected there was something going on there with supply and demand for it as well. Anyway, who knows? Synology Rack Mount NAS Upgrade Guide. Recovering YouTube Chat Bot Project. PDF compression, search term brainstorm. If you want more detail about any of those, you're free to ask about it. So this, we're just 2 days ago now. Fresno Landscaping, Zone 9 Plant Advice, RC Car Run and Charge Times, Pandora Account Confusion on Alexa. Whoops, no, I don't have her name. She's got a different name here. I might have triggered yours. Sorry about that. AI-powered IT operations documentation. Oh yeah, update, that turned out to be a real cool conversation. Update mail, contact email address. Religious observances April 2nd through 5th. Got curious about. Securing a new Facebook. And now I'm trying to, what I'm hoping to accomplish here is maybe expand your ideas about what you can turn to AI for in curiosity and just learning stuff. I often waste time. I often spend more time than I intended to, but it feels far more satisfying than going down rabbit holes on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or whatever those other social media things are. Securing a new Facebook account, so you know what that one's about. Creating a new Microsoft 365 user within a business account. I don't remember what question I had there. Log Me and Rescue zombie window fix. That's the Log Me and Rescue problem where it creates all these windows for the DougBetts remote application, which we had not even recently used previously before this experience. I thought that this was only getting triggered when we actually utilized that piece of software. But with this client, we had not utilized it for quite a while. Copying OneNote table rows correctly. Outlook mailbox size limit advice. That was the client that had a Outlook mailbox size limit. Told you about that one. Export QBO invoices to Excel, so you have an idea what that one's about. Audio driver causing video pauses. The ask button missing on members only live streams. I didn't know about that. You go to a members only live stream if you have a premium YouTube account. The ask button is not available for members only streams. I like that ask button a lot. Windows 11 interface explained. Windows 24H2 to 25H2. upgrade, Gemini AI Ultra Access explained, because they were trying to push an Ultra version of Gemini on me. AI assists chiropractor with medical records. Jatinder. Yeah, I got curious about that because I found that let's see, where was it? Somewhere I came across a female and I thought the name Jatinder was a male name. So I was asking about that. How far back I just want to go 1 week's worth. What was the date last Saturday? Oh my gosh, 28th. Bank statement charge identification. Yeah, charge comes up on your bank statement. Where is it? Use AI. Ask AI. Give it a picture. Splitting PDF in Adobe Acrobat. That was the Realtor. Surface Laptop USB dock compatibility. That was one of the time slips that I didn't read that piece. That was the financial services has a vacation home on the coast. He was asking about the Wi-Fi extender, but there was also an issue about his switching to a new laptop, and he was asking about the dock compatibility. iPhone scareware scam alert, had a client with an issue there. I don't remember talking about the time slip on that. Hardware firewall versus endpoint protection. Buying drip irrigation connection safely. Safely, what that meant is getting the right parts. Not like it's hazardous. Mary Poppins movie versus stage differences. Oh my gosh, surprising things there. And differences with the books. There were Mary Poppins books. I went down that rabbit hole just out of interest and curiosity and being a broader person. Mary Poppins was the very first movie I ever got taken to by my grandmother, my mother's mother. My younger brother and I in 1966, when the movie came out, it was our first movie theater experience. My grandmother drove us there in a VW Bug stick shift. Remote printing, job stuck. Yeah, I told you about that one. Yahoo Mail versions, pros and cons. User changes directions. I don't know what that was about. Alarm system troubleshooting and guide. This is a friend of mine having trouble with her alarm system. She's very upset about it. I did some AI research before going over to her house and solving the problem for her. Cholesterol management, lifestyle advice. Yeah, I kind of I didn't study hard enough for my blood test, and I kind of failed a little bit on the cholesterol, the LDL. A little bit high, not bad, a little bit high. ChatGPT versus Grok AI comparison. Oh, you know what? I think that must be sad. I think that was during the show. YouTube bugged channel access warning. Orphan Black clone actor trivia. Was the 28th on Saturday? Yep, that was Saturday. So that's enough. All right. So now let's go get some acknowledgments. Last week, I acknowledged Tony Wallows' gifts of memberships. He did 10 memberships, but I forgot to award the points, but then also Chevy 5 Gen also donated 10 memberships, and it was on screen while I got distracted. How did I get distracted? Here's a bus coming. There's a bus coming down the street right now. Ken Stout, you see that bus coming right now. Why did I get distracted and neglect to acknowledge Chevy Gen? Because Ken Stout distracted me with him being gifted memberships and him Ken-splaining to me about how that works. So Chevy, thank you for the for those gifts memberships. Now they didn't get awarded to anyone. Chevy, are you in chat? Not recently, apparently. Let's see. Can I find you? Let's see. And there were memberships today gifted. Let's see. Oh, Tony Wallo did it again. I got to take care of these in order. And there's some super chats. Let's see if I do that And then I got to fix this. See, I still haven't shown you chat, have I? Okay, so I'm going to hold on to that for Chevy. It'll get advanced to next week. Hopefully I do that. But I know Tony Wallow is here, so let's see if I can get him his 10 from last week. Now the way I'd set that up, that I was doing 10 on 10 points per, oh, add 2 zeros, I think is what I was doing. So 10 and then 2 zeros. Yeah, that looks right. So it's 1,000 points for last week. So I can't do Chevy's unless he shows up in chat. And then I'll go back. Now, for those of you who don't like seeing chat on screen, fair warning, here it comes. Look at this. When I pop out chat, it only goes back to 11:22. If I come over here and restore chat, let me pause the video so we don't get mirroring. When I come over here and restore it, we can get all the way back to yesterday. Look at that. But I can't pop it out. I can't make this portion whiter. So it started with Robert saying howdy, Arnold Albert, Ken Stout, William's office, and Isaiah Davis, Darren Gilholm. All these was before showtime. Then Tony Wallow, member for 15 months. Thank you, Tony. And then Tony sent 5 gift memberships. So there's another 500 at Tony. And hit the money button. Thank you. And one of those memberships went to Robert. One went to Alice. And hello to Alice. And Tony with a $2 super chat. And so then that's 2 followed by 2 zeros. And press the, whoops, nope, I can't do that. I got it, and that didn't work. 200 at Tony. Now I told you that I made some progress yesterday on my new infrastructure. So I'm encouraged. It went well yesterday. You saw one of my AI conversations had to do with that. I'm looking to see if that worked for Tony on the other screen. Yes, it did. And then Rick Lakes with $5 super chat. Thank you very much, Rick Lakes. So that is a $5, so 5 and 2 zeros, and then at Rick Lakes. So with the new infrastructure, whoops, he's not been recent enough, so I have to do a copy and paste for Rick Lakes. Is that enough of a copy? I can't drag across the whole thing. There he is. Rick Lakes, I can backspace over the member 1 year. Went too far. And then money button. And I'll take a look over at Baby Beast and see if that actually worked. And it looks like yes. Confirmation. All right, David Graham, hello. I see him put me in orange. And I'm not going to spend as much time as I have in the past about acknowledging all the oranges because I want to make the show more useful, beneficial to people that are actually working for a living, providing Windows support. Ken Stout, member for 11 months. Thank you. You're able to show that about your membership status once per month, I believe it is. Okay, are there any questions? Are there any experiences that you have had that you'd like to share regarding Windows support that you have provided to your clients, friends, relatives, the dog down the street, whoever? Now let's see. I'm looking at a couple other things that I put in the email. But let's see. I got an email to myself trying to comprehend what it means. And let's see, got that. Did that one. Did that. Yeah, so what in the world do I mean here? See, Gemini, export QBO invoices to Excel. I wanted to show this in more detail, I think. I noticed in QBO, access through a web browser, my saved custom report is accessible, but when I go to install the app for QBO, to the installed app for QuickBooks Online, I can't find any section for custom reports, save custom reports. Can you explain that? This was the question that I asked in Gemini. So I'm just going to copy through that much. I'll do Control C and go to find that chat. Now, if I just go to my search here and paste that, it should find that chat. Yes, it was in this one. So I'm gonna click to open that, but I need to open that off screen because there are some client exposures in there. And then once I'm in there, I'll do Control F and paste that again. Yeah, so I remember that I previewed to be sure that I could show this interaction. For some reason, I wanted to show this interaction. In QuickBooks Online, access through a web browser. QuickBooks Online, you can access it through the web browser. Duh. They also have an installable app for QuickBooks Online. Now, I prefer that app, but it's a little bit of a stretch your brain concept to think QuickBooks Online can be run as a locally installed program. It's retrieving the data from the web, but it's a locally installed program. Okay, so let that sink in a little bit. They operate differently. And both of those versions of QuickBooks operates differently than QuickBooks Pro desktop version. Both the QuickBooks Online web browser and the desktop version of it can be run in Business View or in Accountant View. They have different menu options. What I had noticed here is I had created a custom report in QuickBooks Online. When I go to the QuickBooks Online app installed on the computer, I cannot access the custom report. It's not available. I can't get to it. Furthermore, I don't think I could even create a custom report. So here's how this went down. I think I wanted to do this because I think it showed a value of AI. It says that is frustrating. Where to go moment. You'd think the installed app would be a mirror image of the web version, but the QBO desktop app, the wrapper version, rap singing, really? A computer bookkeeping program often suffers from UI lag or caching issues that the browser handles much more server. No, this was not right. Here's a breakdown of why those custom reports are playing hide and seek and how to track them. The 3-tab layout in the browser, when you click reports, you usually see 3 distinct tabs at the top: standard, custom, reports, and management reports. In the installed app, these tabs sometimes fail to render if the app hasn't updated its internal view. And this was not the right solution. The fix: click the reports menu left sidebar. If you only see standard list, look toward the very top. I'm going to skip the rest of that. Business view versus accountant view. I mentioned that. QuickBooks Online has 2 different personalities for its interface. If your browser is set to accountant view, but your app is defaulted to business view, the navigation view menu changes significantly. This was not the solution either. I had already thought of that. I had already switched. Did not solve it. The app glitch. Because the QuickBooks Online app essentially just specialized web browser saves snapshots of your data to load faster. Sometimes it saves snapshot from before you save that report. This is not the solution because it was the following day. Still not available. The Intuit reality check. Possibility number 4. Killing me. I'll be level with you. Don't you love it when people say, I'm not going to lie? No, I'm so tired of that. I'm not going to lie, but really, you have to tell me you're not going to lie? Does that mean all the other instances you say something to me, if you don't preface it with that, it's likely a lie? I'll be level with you, because in those other three things, you weren't level with me. Intuit has been subtly, and sometimes not so subtly, trying to move people away from the installed QBO app for years. I did not know this. I knew that they were trying to move people away from QuickBooks Pro, the fully installed and locally local data program. They're trying to get us away from that, but not move away from the QBO app. I love the QBO app. I always use that. The bookkeeper that I was supporting this week, she prefers the web interface because it's a little bit closer. Well, no, not because it's closer to QuickBooks Desktop, but because she found more YouTube videos available for how to use it. But I find it far more restricting than the app. They put 100% of their engineering effort into the Chrome Edge browser experience and often let the app's UI get buggy or outdated. Wow. Peer tip. If you find the app is consistently missing features or running slow, many power users prefer to use Chrome and simply install as app. This is another way that you can interact with it, is use the install as app feature of Chrome. Oh my gosh. To do that, you go to Chrome settings, save and share, install page as app. So let me see if I can, let's go over here to YouTube. And what did it just say? Chrome settings, save and share. Chrome settings, save and share. So here, Chrome settings. I've done this a few times. Save and share. But not surprisingly, it's not quite there, is it? I know that I've found it. It seems like there's been a couple different ways to find it. Was it, did I already miss it? Seems like it was right on this menu. Install as app. Somewhere around here, install as app. And I don't know if YouTube will let me do that. And then you can pin it to the taskbar and you can open it. It doesn't quite look like a normal browser. If somebody knows where that is. Gemini. No, not Gemini. I was looking for YouTube. Yeah, I didn't see it. Greg M says he uses that in Brave browser. I am using Chrome right now. Simply install as app. I remember it seems like there's times when I just right click up here and could install as app, or that there was an icon up here that would give an option for install as app. So I don't quite understand how that goes. Gives you the desktop icon, separate window you like with rock solid reliability of the browser engine. Now I don't know yet if it will do the custom reports. Yeah, see, I can't show you that custom report bigger because that would be client specific content. When you click on report section in your app right now, do you see the 3 tabs, standard, custom ads? So the conversation went on. All right, so that was a little tidbit that I know I wanted to show about an interaction with Gemini. It can be, it has been wrong half a dozen times this week in ways that I was able to steer and say, hey, what about such a, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do that. Or I'll say, I think you're just drawing conclusions here. You said something is absolutely certain this is the way it is, such and such. And I said, do you have actual documentation behind that, or are you just making deductions there and saying it's absolutely certain? I don't want that. And someone says, oh, you were right to call me out about that. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I was being overconfident. And it's like hiring a young employee that's just all fired up, ready to take the world by the tail. Reminds me of me when I was 19 years old with my first office job. All right, where to go? How are we doing? We got 1 hour under our belt, and I got through all of that stuffs. Nobody's asked for more detail, as far as I know, on that stuff. And oh, I wonder if I just realized I had some files open related to my infrastructure development that I was supposed to have closed before I started the stream today. Otherwise, things might not be working right. Because today, I'm actually testing one of the new infrastructure things today. You won't see anything about it. It's happening in the background. I'm just going to take a peek and see if it looks like it's working. And it does, because that file is updating and it's getting larger. Cool. This puts me closer to being able to get rid of read chat please and get rid of showing the chat window. Somebody keeps hitting my phone saying they want to buy my house. Yeah, okay, so report spam and block. Delete and report spam. There were two messages. The one that's coming in now is from Jay. From the same phone number yesterday was Jack. Yeah. Yeah, right. Okay. I'm going to give you a little bit to ask me questions or come up with your own experiences to discuss. If you've already put in something and didn't do a read chat, please just go triple click on it, Control C for copy, go down to a new chat, do !C space
Read chat
Control
please.
V to paste. Marsman says,
Read chat please.
There we go. The WinNT hide taskbar exe is working great. I use it every day. Awesome, Marsman. Thank you for letting us know that. You're going to get points for that follow-up. And Zavi Manor, since you're the one that gave us that, let's just throw you some more points, but I don't see you there. ZVI, are you there? I don't see you there. Maybe you just haven't been in chat recently. Because the last 5 minutes, that @ symbol won't work. And you're not gaining 50 points a minute if you haven't said something within the last 5 minutes. So then John Downey says, I am working on a master's in cybersecurity focused on security implement, whatever that was. Awesome. And for my final project, I plan to build a small SIEM environment that was for security management, watching and managing, whatever. Environment using a mini PC. Oh, cool. I think this could be useful in small organization. I don't see any reason why a small mini PC couldn't do that. I don't think that would be a lot of computing power. Let's go back and see what that was. Security, information, and event management. So what that would be watching is it would have a enterprise level or a high-end router or firewall that logs all the traffic that's happening so that you can go back and investigate later to see what happened if a event actually occurred. It'll also tell you about the things that it blocked, that it identified as bad sites that somebody was communicate with, or a site that was trying to probe the ports at the company. So you can go investigate what's going on. If there's login attempts that are failing, you'll be able to go investigate that and see where they're coming from, what public IP address that they're coming from, and see if you can do some blocking or backtracking or trying to secure something. If somebody in the office experiences some odd issue on their computer, you would be able to track that. Now, I had a security event that I think I forgot to tell you about last week. This is one of the things that I had dealt with last week. And if I had given you the overview of my time slips, I would have caught that and said, oh yeah, that was kind of a big deal. One of my clients called one day and said their screen went blank. I actually could come up with the picture. Their screen went black and then displayed an issue of updates. Please wait. And it had something like 19%, and it was not advancing at all. It was just sticking there, and it was not a normal Windows Update kind of window. And they said the mouse was moving around on the screen while they weren't touching it, like it was pointing at things and clicking on things. It was backfield in motion, mouse in motion on a screen that claimed to be updates in progress. There was no progress being made. They recognized that as a bad thing. They turned the power switch off on the computer. They took a short video of it, actually caught video of it with their phone, and then turned the power switch off before sending me text. Well done, client. So what that, you know what, actually, I think, no, it couldn't have happened during last week's live stream because they only work on weekdays. It happened during, I was busy on some other client communication at the time. Well, I interacted with them by text while I was on a remote support with a client. So I said, leave that computer off. Do not turn it back on. I will be over there as soon as I can to deal with it, without telling them at that point how I was going to deal with it. Should I delay and give you a chance to come up with how I dealt with that? Was there any lead up? Let me see while I'm waiting to see if you go respond. I see Lawn Dog saying auto mouse. Ooh, that's weird. There's some of those emotion things happening on screen. I usually have that turned off. All it takes is one person to ask me to turn that off, and I'll turn that off. I know some people find that annoying. All right, so was it here? Oh, yeah. Yep, I found the video. There's no audio with it. It's a very short video. And can I, let's see. Can I open up this big? Oh, there. Yeah, I can. Okay. So I'm going to share my phone screen to my computer. And, oh, I guess I only have that set up on Baby Beast. I thought I had set that up on Big Beast too. I know I did. Yeah, I just don't have it active right now. I'm going to bring that up on Big Beast instead. Oops, no, restore it. Oh, The Windows key searched for it successfully with the logo, but it's just found the app is all it did. Okay, let's get back to mirroring. And then I'll maximize that on Baby Beast. And then get back to the video, practice playing it. Oh, are you kidding me? This video is so short. Well, I'll just bring it up on screen and show you. You'll still be able to see it. So here it is. This is from my cell phone. The play button and the 10-second rewind and 10-second fast forward, they never go away because this video is so short. Down at the bottom, you can see that it's 3 seconds long on that playhead. Let's see, do you? Yeah, I think you get to see me moving the mouse. Let's come over here so that I can see the stream on Big Beast and see if you can see me moving the mouse. You cannot. You cannot see me moving the mouse. Oh, well. Oh, yeah, you can. There's just a delay. Okay, so now I'm hovering on the play button. Now, what we're looking for, what I want you to see is the customer, the client's mouse on the monitor, which is right over here. That little guy right there. When I hit the play button, you're going to see that mouse arrow moving around on the screen while this software is updating message is on screen. Let's see. Oh, I got to press the play button on the phone, not on the computer. Here we go. Okay, that's all it was. Now I'm going to point out where it happened. The mouse started here, and then when I hit the play button, the mouse came right over here. It's right at the top of this circle. It's where you're going to see it. Here we go again. There. See a mouse moving around on the screen while the screen says, oh, there. Software updating 9%. Okay, I gave the percentage number wrong. They said the percentage never did change. How do you think I went about fixing this? Knowing everything that you know about me. Not necessarily the way you would have done it. But I think you know enough about me to guess how I would have done it. So I'm going to go back and bring up chat on Big Beast, and we'll see. So first was Auto Mouse. Danielle, hello, says, just added my Unify Network app to my PC's task scheduler. Interesting. I would sometimes forget to restart it after a reboot, and I would have no data collection until I started it. Oh, cool. So you're actually collecting your network traffic using the Unify app. So that's something that would be useful for investigating a security incident. Any rats found? No. Why did we not find any rats? I haven't told you that part yet. Now I'm trying to remember the acronym. Remote Access Trojan?
Read chat, please.
Remote Access Trojan, is that what that is?
Read chat, please.
All right, so there's some, those two read chats are both good, good guesses. Seeing if anybody else is saying something. Mouse from another computer controlling it. But how would that put that update screen on there? Reasonable idea, but they hadn't been having any other trouble about mouse interference from another computer. Dennis says reinstall. Reinstall what? Could get a little more specific about, do you want to reinstall their applications? Reinstall their browser? Reinstall, he probably means reinstall Windows, right? So if you launch if you put in a USB that has Windows 11 installation media, you can do an upgrade in place. And that is a setup.exe. That's probably not what he means. I'm going to guess Dennis means, he says OS. So reinstall OS. So wipe and reload, nuke and pave. I would have understood better what you meant from that. No, that's not what I did. That does not even look like a proper update screen. Absolutely correct. Did not software, it said software is updating. What? I've never seen software is up. What software? A Windows update doesn't say software is updating. Do not turn your computer off. Yeah, the criminals are updating it. Oh. Left the computer plugged into the internet. Resume the update. Oh, that's what Lawn Dog's saying I did to fix it. And played along, fighting the mouse control. You have to learn what the person's up to. Yeah, no, that's not what I did. Edward says he has no idea. You're always curious as to how things work, and the only way to understand is to play along. There's somewhat valid suspicion. That's not what I did. Restored backup, that would be a almost reasonable. I considered that. This computer does do a full image backup every day. Well, it does full image backup and then it does differential backups. So there was, I checked. Yes, it did backup last night. But when was the first infection? Whatever was causing this to happen, was it included in last night's backup? Was it included in last week's backup? So nope, I decided not to go that route. Seldom Ball, I expect Doug to restore from most recent backup. Nope, for reasons I just said. Greg M says recording, also known as screensaver. Yeah, if we had applied a screensaver that would say that, then we would know that. Recording, aka screensaver. So no, it wasn't a screensaver. Not quite sure if I've fully caught the meaning there. That was when Dennis clarified he meant reinstall the operating system. Rick Lake, his tabs just crash. Yeah, YouTube tabs still crash. Just the YouTube tab, right? Yeah, Ken's also crashed. Is an interesting design hack. Sounds like the update screen gives them time to do monkey business. Absolutely correct. They're doing something in the background. They're putting in other back doors. That's what I was thinking. What they're doing when they're moving around, they're putting out in some other kind of remote access, because right now they have remote access somehow is what it very clearly looks like. And they could be creating themselves some other back door in case we take action to shut down what they are using right now. Lawn Dog continuing, because as you know, the computer is updating and it takes a few minutes to do that. What an excellent ploy, very creative. Yeah, for the criminal. He's complimenting the criminal. Lawn Dog further saying, I caught the black screen. That's what triggered my mind, is saying it's not a Microsoft update. Yeah, no, and they recognized that too. They said, this is not a normal update. Did this happen on this past Wednesday? No, because I forgot to tell you about it last week. So, and I can go look at the date of that message, March 17th. They sent me that video on March 17th. Interesting time.
Read chat, please.
12:57 p.m. Oh, no, that's okay. I was thinking that's during their lunch break, but no, their lunch break is 11:30 to 12:30. That last read chat is Seldom Ball. Sometimes there are practical jokers who will do things like run a video that looks like a hack just to scare people. Yeah, in a larger corporate environment where there's some
Read
IT,
chat please.
some really computer literate people, I could see them doing that. It wasn't on. Oh, that's why you were asking about Wednesday, because that was April 1st. Yeah, no, that's not when it was. Yeah, that's that one. Screen Connect, similar thread. Just ruling out April Fool's joke. Yeah, that wasn't one of it because they were all gathering around the computer. They were all very concerned about it, and they would not have let me spend the amount of time that I spent on resolving the issue. They would not have let me do that on a joke because that's costing the employer, and the employer would not be a happy camper. Let's see what this is saying. Blue screen. This wasn't a blue screen. So let's go back and see what's similar thread. Is it some other thread in here? 26 answers. It wasn't a blue screen. Is it a fake blue screen that there's software updating? Oh, okay. Read, Doug, read. Software updating, do not turn off. The mouse arrow moves around the screen as well. Okay, sounds good. Somebody just probably did a Google search just now to find it. Were you already aware of that? Or did you just find it? I'm curious, Selden Ball. Were you already aware of it or did you just find it? Give me a clear answer to that, please, in chat. Mouse move around the screen as well, realizing it's not a good thing. Turn the computer off as soon as possible, holding down the power button. I've tried a few things to clean up the computer, but I am unsure if anything addresses the issue. 26 answers. The blue screen message I'm getting is not a Windows upgrade. I believe it started with an interaction I had with what was supposedly a PayPal service. Possible, although I think the original could have come from a variety of different sources. When I questioned them about the veracity, they hung up on me. Oh, it was a phone call. My client was not on a phone call. And shortly after that, this problem started occurring on an occasional basis. I have downloaded a trial version of Malwarebytes and Adware Cleaner and run scans from both of those. That was last night. So far, I've not seen the blue screen. However, it only happens once in a while. I'm hoping someone who has had a similar problem and successfully conquered it may be able to help me. This could be a full screen graphics display just from a website. Any of those advertisements that shows up on somebody else's website, you click on one, or search results, you click on one, and there could be a temporarily compromised website that displays a full screen image. Now, usually that's what's happening about these fake infection alerts, but this bit about having a moving mouse in the background is a new one on me. I don't think that's just a graphic image from a web browser. I think that's actually a rat, I think remote access Trojan is what it's called, that is active on the computer, is installed, and possibly a rootkit. And if so, your free version of Malwarebytes and Adware Cleaner is not likely going to find it. It only happens once in a while, hoping someone else has a similar problem. The program is Screen Connect. Now, I have come across Screen Connect in a suspected infection environment, but Screen Connect, I think, is also a legitimate remote access program. But for that to be on a computer where we're not intending it to be there, that's a problem. I've uninstalled the program, however it's gone. This was anonymous. This is saying the program is Screen Connect. This is anonymous getting a similar answer. Oh, it was originally from anonymous. I uninstalled the program and it was gone. However, it was not fully uninstalled. Yeah, there may be something on the computer that's causing it to come back. I found the program in here. I suggest that you search for Screen Connect Client Services EXE, Screen Connect Windows Client. before I installed by Windows. This is sounding so familiar. I'm pretty sure that I've come across this before. I'm going to go take a look at, I'm going to copy Screen Connect. I'm going to search my Gemini and see if I have that. That's sounding super familiar. Yeah. March 17th. Oh, computer compromise remote access analysis. That's the date that I said for this one. In the client's report, yes, this computer has been compromised. I got to see. I don't remember finding Screen Connect on their computer. But there's a reason why I didn't find it. But I don't remember that being part of this. Oh. Yeah, all right. Well, okay, I did. Based on the screenshots and the client's report, yes, this computer has definitely been compromised. Your instructions are completely correct. The client's description of the mouse moving and fake software is updating message is a classic tactic. Attackers use these fake screens to keep the user from interfering while they manually navigate the machine to establish persistent hidden access. That's what I was saying. They're trying to do something to give them another back door because you're eventually going to discover this. So this is why I didn't pursue that, because uninstalling Screen Connect, not enough. Here's a breakdown of exactly what the evidence. Your screenshot reveals the PowerShell script open in Notepad scAutofix.ps1 is a malicious dropper script. Even though Screen Connect is a legitimate remote support tool, attackers frequently abuse it. To bypass antivirus software, here's what the script is doing. Checking for existing software. It looks for a specific Screen Connect client ID and uninstalls other versions if it finds it. The suspicious download looks like I'm still not exposing anything from client. Uninstalls other versions. It uses invoke web request to download a file from such and such, which grandhool.online, yellow, red flag, spidey senses, tingling. This is a smoking gun, legitimate ConnectWise Screen Connect. See, ConnectWise is a legitimate name. I would recognize that and say, nah, that's legitimate. Screen Connect, they're the ones who legitimately use the name Screen Connect, not Grand Hool Tool Online. Tool. Where did I get the word tool? I don't know. Is not hosted on random unverified domains like grandhool.online. Silent installation. It runs a download MSI file with the arguments /i/qn, which is quiet, no user interface, and no restart. This installs the rogue remote access tool silently in the background without the user's knowledge. See if I can scroll down more before I get into client stuff. Event viewer, logs. I guess I investigated this further than I remember doing. Attacker script successfully executed. Shows the time. I might have been investigating this after the fact. Yeah, this 12:31. Remember, their picture came through at 12:58, but they sent the picture after they had disconnected the computer. Log the successful installation of the exact file script downloaded. This is an incident investigation. This means the attacker, not the kind that you would get a degree for, that goes far deeper for that. This means the attacker successfully established a persistent remote access to the machine. I see the Computer Age Consulting unattended access banner at the bottom of the screen. Since you are currently connected, be aware that the attacker's rogue Screen Connect instance is likely running alongside your legitimate remote session right now. Oh, that's right. What happened? I'm remembering things a little bit out of sequence, I guess. Yeah, I know what it was. When they saw that happen, they immediately shut the computer off. They sent the photo to me later. When I had contacted them back, they had already started it, restarted it. So I connected to it and looked at that's where this stuff came from. I forgot all about that bit because there's been a lot of other things that have happened since then. I have a lot of my work documented through Gemini.
Read chat, please.
It's been really useful. That's Sam Lazarus has just joined. Daylight savings ended, so clocks went back 1 hour. Now Doug starts at 4 o'clock instead of 5 o'clock. Yeah, he's in the southern hemisphere. So they changed their clocks the opposite directions that we do in the northern hemisphere. We moved them forward. He just moved them back. So it causes for a few changes. When I'm on standard time, then change the daylight savings time, that makes a change for him. Then when they make their change, they go the opposite direction. Does weird things. Locate the rogue instance. Do not rely on add remove programs. I did not. You'll need to hunt down the specific screen connect instance. I did not. Yeah, and disable it. I did not. Would you like me to provide step-by-step incidents response and how to safely hunt down the initial PS1 script, PowerShell script is how they think it originally happened. And I think I already showed evidence of that. How did I respond? Oh, I accepted its offers. I'm not going to keep going through this because I want to get to what I actually did because I had a much better solution. I was trying to give a clue based on what you know about me. I didn't want to fix this computer at all. This office, their computers are pretty similarly configured, one computer to another. So I took a backup image from one of the other computers and restored it to the subject computer so that all their software is there. I did not rebuild from scratch and reinstall all their software and do all their network configurations and their printer configurations and their email configurations, and their Microsoft account and their Google account. And oh my gosh, no. So I went over there and I took two of their computers. I took one that had been working perfectly, and I took the problem computer, brought it over here. The computer that had been working perfectly had a full image backup from the prior night. The only reason why I did that work here is because I knew if I tried to copy that out to external media, it was going to take a while, and they were eager to leave the office. So I just brought both of those computers, copied the backup image to external media, restored it to the new computer, performed my SID change routine, did some specific user configuration changes, did not use Fab's auto backup to copy from the old user on the infected computer to the new computer because of the potential that I might copy across the infecting agent. That was a method I chose to do because I know that's not going to have surprises. I know that process. If I go trying to clean up the infection on the infected computer, do I really know I got everything? Do I take it back to them and have them risk having them call me back in a few days? And doing that work takes longer. So I took the other employee's computer, began a copy operation to external media. How long does that take to begin? 3 minutes, maybe? Go do something else. Come back later. Put a bootable Macrium Reflect into the subject computer. Boot on that. Attach the external drive. Restore the image. Begin restoring the image. Walk away. 10 minutes to start that process. Come back when that's done. Start the computer up. Run my SID change, my customized AI assisted SID change procedure that doesn't wipe out any user accounts or any software. Run that. It's about 10 minutes. Each step of these has a start time and an end time in my time slips.
Read chat, please.
When that's done, about an hour to do the user-specific configurations. Take them both back the next morning and install them. Go look at that read chat. Greg M. Restoring a backup does not solve exfiltration of data that has occurred. Absolutely, and I explained that to them. I told them they may have already taken data from your computer. That absolutely could have been done. Restoring a backup does not solve exfiltration of data that has occurred. Yep. But doing the investigation doesn't do that either. I'm not aware of anything at all that I could do to solve the exfiltration of data. See, the way this is worded kind of implies that some other method would solve the exfiltration of data. But I don't know of any other method that you could deal with this that would solve that. Greg, are you implying that there is some other method I could have used other than restoring a backup? I don't think that's what you're trying to say, but if it is, let me know. I'd love to hear it. Oh.
Read chat, please.
All right, let's see if he's coming up with something here. Oh, Sam Lazar. Doug, did you get my email? I think I know the answer, but want your view on a client who needs a new email but uses Microsoft Teams a lot for video calling. Let me go look. Did you send it during show today or prior to show? Oh, there it is. Early morning. Oh, I haven't looked at any of my emails this morning. Oh, yeah, I was out doing yard work. I'm overhauling the drip irrigation in my front yard. Hey, Doug, why don't you pay someone to do it? Because they never do it the way that I want them to do it, and I enjoy doing it myself.
Read chat, please.
Yeah, he says several hours ago, last night for him. Yeah, 7 hours ago. Yeah, shows I haven't looked at my email. Am I okay to show this? He knows that I show emails. And yeah, so I haven't absorbed this yet. We're gonna read through it together. Oh, look at this. He uses an American phraseology. How are you doing? That's not the way they say it in Australia. Can I remember what it was? I don't remember. I remember that first few times I was like, what? They have a weird, something that seems just off to me. Their greeting. How are you doing? Thank you. I'm doing well. Thank you. I have a long-term client and family friend who is currently part of a consulting group, but wants to leave and go independent. He specializes in work for Aboriginal communities. Wow. And handles a lot of pro bono projects. Yay. To ensure he has total ownership of his brand and avoids any delays with his current group, I'm planning to register a fresh .au domain for him fairly soon. Okay, to clarify something, consulting group does not mean IT consulting, as I'm deducing here. They may be business consultants, they might be architecture consultants. It doesn't matter what their nature of their consulting, but since Sam is doing the domain work for him, that would imply that it's not IT consulting. And total ownership is branding, delays with his group, trying to register a fresh.au domain for him fairly soon. Recently, Sam asked us about handling custom domain names that were not going to have a website. I'm wondering if that's part of what this is about. I've been weighing up two paths for his digital infrastructure. The independent route, using an independent provider for emails, it's roughly $2 Australian per month and follows the open standards like IMAP, CalDev, and CardDev. CalDev is for calendar, CardDev is for contacts, that I prefer, but the Microsoft Teams integration is a significant hurdle. I've tested the connections and APIs, and they are more steps to get working or require manual workarounds that may have issues. Yeah, I'm not comfortable with going this route if
Read
you're
chat,
going to
please.
be highly in the Microsoft world. Let's see, so fresh domain name. I'm wondering if this is an issue that you're just not very familiar with the full native Microsoft methods. Let's see, Sam Lazar in chat says, helps get funding for Aboriginal communities. That's the consulting that they do. Cultural centers, Aboriginal communities, cultural centers. The independent provider is Zoho, who he's using. And Zoho probably doesn't deal with Microsoft tenants and probably only has IMAP available and not Microsoft Exchange servers. If they had Microsoft Exchange servers available, that might be a way to go. I'm not totally certain about that. Integrated route. Moving him to a direct Microsoft 365 Business Basic tenant, there's that word again, for about $10 per month.
Read
As
chat,
you
please.
know, I'm not a fan of Microsoft. Let's see, Sam says Zoho only has IMAP, CalDev, CardDev, so they don't have Exchange. I am not a fan of Microsoft and their walled garden approach to email handling. It's restrictive and ignores universal protocols. Yeah. I'm wondering if this is more about just, I don't know how to say, habitual aversion to the Microsoft way. Let's not get into that too much right now, but let's see what the rest you say. However, I recognize the practical benefits here. It provides a native one-click Teams integration. Things will be so much simpler to just go with it, and acts as a security passport. Fighting against the Microsoft way of doing things, if you're going to be in the Microsoft world, it's kind of like trying to do a Facebook account with high security settings. You're really bucking the system. That was a B at the beginning of that word. Because he interfaces with government agencies and large NGOs who are probably all in the Microsoft ecosystem, having a verified Microsoft identity ensures his emails actually land in their inboxes. And it is so much easier to set up email if you have Microsoft involved on it. It's just, you do check boxes. You don't have to go do all the configuration of the search thing, domain, DNS. you don't have to do the manual configuration so much. You do a lot of check boxes. I found it much easier. Land in their inboxes, and his video calls aren't blocked by their firewalls. Given he is a path of least resistance user who relies on his Android phone for quick checks on the couch, I'm leaning toward the integrated approach to save him technical friction. And I think by integrated approach, you mean integrated Microsoft 365. If you go the other way and he has troubles down the road, and he's going to be off at seminars and workshops, and he's going to be with the people that he's consulting, and there's going to be these things that aren't working right. They're going to ask, why isn't this working right? And it's going to come out that it's because his email is not through Microsoft. And they're going to say, why don't you have your email with Microsoft? That's all the way all of us are doing it. And it's gonna make you look bad. Deciding to go the Microsoft way, and it is the majority way out there, it's far more difficult for somebody to criticize you for going that direction. And they ask you, why did you go that way? And you come up with, well, I'm not a fan of their walled garden approach to email handling. And so they turn around to their client or customer and say, well, it's because my IT pro is not a fan of Microsoft and their walled garden approach to email handling. What is their customer or client going to say to your client? They're going to say, I think you need a new IT pro. You don't want them saying that. Oh, Zavi Menor, look, he's here. Does Gemini is misleading Zavi? Oh, fun. Let's finish up this, Zavi, and I want to come back to that, okay? I'm not going to jump topic right now, but I do want to come back to that. We got 12 minutes left. Maybe we'll go over time.
Read chat, please.
And then what? He says his client travels all over Australia to strange places. The last thing I want is him calling me from far north Queensland as he has issues. Absolutely. Oh, Zavi says it's the same topic. Okay. Should I go there now, Zavi, or finish the email? Because we haven't even read through his email yet. Practical benefits here: native one-click Teams integration, security because the interfaces with government, having verified Microsoft identity.
That's a big 10-4.
He thinks I should go to that now. Given he is a path of least resistance. I already read that. I'm almost done here. Do you think the all-in-one approach is a smarter move for solo consult? Yes. Is it worth the effort to keep him on decoupled stack to save about 108? No, absolutely not. This person is probably involved with far higher dollar amounts. 100 Australian dollars per month is a drop in the bucket, a minuscule amount. He'll never care about that, most likely. If he's consulting for governments, no, he's dealing with money amounts far greater than this. It's very important to get outside of your own reluctance to spend $100 per year on something. Let it go. Just wondering what you think. Please note, since Android does not support CalDev, CardDev natively, he will need to get an app like Dave, which gives him these protocols. I do this for Sam Lazar. Yeah, so if you drop that approach, then you simplify his Android too. His Android's going to work fine with Microsoft. Okay, I don't think we need more information. So Zavi, we're coming at you. Doug's Gemini is misleading me. I'm not sure what that. Not worried about the typo. No. Right click. Let's see if this works. Zoho Exchange integration. Sync details. Oh, because he found Zoho has integration. Zoho integrates with Microsoft Exchange Server for real-time synchronization of emails, calendars, contacts, and tasks. Real-time synchronization. Interesting. What does this mean? Should I zoom in more? That worked. That is, and he said misleading. Maybe, let's see. Gemini is misleading me. So Zavi's not believing this, I think. That's correct, though the method and depth of synchronization depend heavily on which part of the Zoho ecosystem you're using. I haven't heard any strong enough reason to stay with Zoho if your client isn't on board with trying to stay with Zoho, if they aren't a strong believer. No, I don't like it. I think, Sam, you'll find it's not such a bad experience. And I highly suggest you let an AI walk you through it. While Zoho supports these integrations, the real-time aspect and the inclusion of tasks varies between their standard mail service and their customer CRM platform. Client relations management, customer records management,
Read chat, please.
customer resource management, I think it is. Sam Lazar says, would that Zoho Exchange Sync thing cost more? Would you just use Microsoft if you're paying for Exchange? Yeah, I'm wondering what this integration really means. Zoho integrates with Microsoft Exchange Server. I think, is this meaning that your email is hosted by Microsoft and you're somehow wanting to integrate that with Zoho, meaning Microsoft is still really your Microsoft provider and you're trying to use some other portion of Zoho's ecosystem? I don't know. While Zoho supports these, yeah, I read that. Zoho, customer relations, client, whatever, resource, whatever that is. For business users, Zoho offers a dedicated Microsoft Exchange extension. That doesn't mean they host their own Microsoft Exchange servers.
Read chat, please.
For Zoho CRM, this is the most robust way to sync all 4 categories. Sam says, all my client wants is email, calendar, contacts, and Teams. It doesn't care whether it's Zoho. I highly prefer native Microsoft and drop Zoho in this environment. Not being a fan of Microsoft is not a reason to take your client that direction when it can have consequences for them. My opinion. Email syncs your Exchange mailbox directly into the CRM. So this is, your email is hosted by Microsoft using Microsoft Exchange Server. And your reason for using Zoho is to use Zoho's CRM software or interface because you like it. That would be a Zoho native element that you're wanting to use. This is not using Zoho as the email host with IMAP, the way I'm reading it. Calendars, bidirectional sync for meetings and appointments. Okay, yeah, but do you have to click something to make that synchronization happen? Is there some kind of a delay? Are there other side effects down the road? Is there problems with sharing calendars with somebody else if they're not native Microsoft calendars that you're working with? It looks like you're using the Zoho calendar and calendars and contacts and tasks allows you to manage your Exchange contacts hosted by Microsoft, if I'm understanding this right, and to-do list within the CRM interface. Control administrators can set the sync direction, one way or bidirectional. Now let's see, how far does this go? And I'm going to continue this chat. and I'm going to shortcut here. Does this approach use Microsoft as the email host, and the Zoho integrations is just to use the Zoho interfaces for email contacts and calendar, while the emails are actually hosted by Microsoft in such a way that a smartphone could be configured to receive the emails directly from Microsoft without any Zoho configuration whatsoever. Because I think that's what's going on here. And reading through the rest of that might have answered that, or might not. Yes, you have it exactly right. The scenario you described, Microsoft remains the authoritative host for your data. So we are not getting away from what Sam doesn't like about Microsoft. You're still got the Microsoft stuff that you don't like. Microsoft is the brain. Zoho is the lens or the interface. It's just a window into your Microsoft data. So the Microsoft still has all the data. Does not accomplish Sam's reluctance to go down Microsoft. Okay, I don't want to take the time to read all of that because I am at the 2-hour mark. Zavi, have I sufficiently addressed what you're seeing here?
Read chat, please.
Your original comment about it's taking you down the wrong path, or however you worded that. Okay, so this last one. Sam says, on my client Samsung Galaxy A54, he uses native Exchange Sync with his old emails, Samsung Contacts, Calendar, and Gmail app, and it works. But it is still Microsoft. So the client is already using Microsoft with his group consulting. So now he wants to go out on his own, and what Sam is contemplating doing is putting him with Soho or Microsoft. He's already been Microsoft. I really think you need to swallow your feelings about Microsoft. My opinion. You take it and run. If you come back to us saying that you went with Zoho, there's not going to be any words from me, any harshness from me. But that's my opinion. That's my opinion. And did Zvi give any response? Let's go throw Zvi some points just for doing that, and Sam some points for bringing in the topic. And I've got a 1,000.
Read chat, please.
I think that's going to be a 2,000 for bringing that in. And he's saying, yep, I think I'll just go Microsoft and deal with it. Sometimes you do things for a client if they want or need it, but you hate it. You are completely free to continue hating it.
Read chat, please.
So I did points for Sam. Let's get points for Zvi. Why am I not getting Zvi? Right there. Let's do that one as a 1,000 for very active participation. Seldom Ball, special contract arrangements with Microsoft might be appropriate. For guys going out on his own, I don't think that's large enough for any special arrangements. Also, don't forget Copilot's involvement with their email services now. Are you complimenting that or cautioning against it? I have clients very, very happy with Copilot and with AI assistance that they're getting on their emails. That word is to be a new in the past that internet providers also have an exchange service and has nothing to do with Microsoft service. True. Microsoft hosted email is a Microsoft 365. When you're configuring that, you sign in with a web style sign in like you would with a Google account, and Exchange service could be a hosted exchange rather than a Microsoft exchange. I do have one client who has a service provider who manages my client's website and my client's document storage and my client's email, and he has a Microsoft Exchange server of his own, not my client, this service provider of his, and it is a hosted exchange service where
Read chat, please.
the service provider has an official relationship with Microsoft. He is an approved Microsoft, I don't know what they call it, but this service provider actually can assign Microsoft tenants to people like my client, even though the Exchange server is on the service provider's premises. It's Microsoft Exchange. Exchange is a Microsoft product, but you can have that installed on a server servicing email, but yet it is part of the Microsoft ecosystem as far as being a hosted exchange is what it's called. I think I'm describing that. Okay, so these ones that I'm behind on. Yeah, internet. Yeah, so that is still a thing.
Read chat, please.
I was being intentionally vague with Copilot. Some people feel strongly in both directions. Okay, you didn't want us jumping down on him either way. He says that's exactly what he meant, what I described about that. Partner, there you go. That's a good name, Randy Israel. Partner. This service provider is a Microsoft partner, and tenants are issued to the client companies. My client owns a company, and he has his Exchange server hosted by this partner, Microsoft partner. Sam Lazar, the real question, let's try that again, is if my client is happy to switch email provider as he is happy to use something else like Cisco, WebEx, or stay with Teams. Teams is a real question and decider for my client. The direction I would go with that is the people that he is servicing. Since he's servicing governments and large institutions, probably NPOs, what are that? NPOs, non-public can't even think of it, not-profit organization, not-for-profit organization, NPOs, I think is the right thing. It sounds like he's consulting on rather high levels. If those people are using Teams, then I would say you should go with Teams. Cisco's WebEx or stay with Teams is the choice. He is happy to use something else. Now, why is he saying that? Is it because he doesn't know any better? He doesn't know which way to go? Now, if I had something going on there, I would ask an AI. Help me with making a decision between Cisco WebEx or Microsoft Teams. word Teams is enough. You don't have to do the word Microsoft, because an AI will help you think it through, even if you think you know the environment completely.
Read chat, please.
I have no hesitation to ask an AI about an environment that I think that I know completely. And some people might snicker that I would ask an AI about that subject area. And that's part of why I wanted to show you my AI searches I didn't go rename things or see what am I going to expose about myself. It's a very, very useful tool for those of you who are still dissing it. Have a happy life. I think you're cutting yourself short. From my experience, majority of my experience, lots of corporates use Teams. Absolutely. Absolutely. I've come across some of my clients where I discover, oh, look at that, you're actually using Teams. And I'm surprised by it. And it's always people who have been in a corporate environment previously. Sam uses AI all the time. Me too. All right, I'm gonna bounce out of here. We're gonna see if all these updates caused a problem with anything was shutting down. Let's see, my monitor 3 was not working. Right? Yeah, that's black. And yeah, I better not bring up that client computer over there because I don't know what screen it's on. Okay, so here's the email address. You want to send a question for a topic next week, or a story or something that you've been working on. Very interested if you have any feedback about me going over time slips and AI. I think it hits a lot of topics right away. See Phil Stodd's going to Mike's Unboxing. If you want to put a link, you're always welcome to do that in chat. And have a great weekend, and happy Easter for those who celebrate, and whatever your tradition is. I don't know them all off the top of my head, even though you saw that I did an AI search on it recently. Yeah, so there you go.
Read chat, please.
That's all, folks.
Tune in. Today is a week for Windows support, the help you seek. Send an email, leave a comment, join the chat. Our tech-savvy crew is where it's at. Not just me, but a whole community, helping you solve tech mysteries. With friends who are here almost every day, we love to chat and help you find your way. So subscribe now, be part of the team, for Windows support and more than you dream. Join the fun, don't miss a single stream. At LiveWindowsTraining-DougBetts, or simply where tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme. Tune in, days a week, for Windows support, the help you seek. Send an email, leave a comment, join the chat. Our tech-savvy crew is where it's at. Not just me, but a whole community, helping you solve tech mysteries.